Quick question. When's the last time y'all went to the mountains?
Grip.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, we grew up in the mountains, Idaho, so Nevada. Shoot. We went up to Orofino and we were in Arizona in the mountains. So
Yeah.
okay, 2022.
Okay. I'm from Rock Hill, so going to the mountains is fascinating to me. You know, I love to take Lyric. I only took her once, but I love it because we went to Asheville, and in the middle of the cabin site, they have a trout pond.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say where I bought the closed face reel from, but it didn't work, so I had to let her use my open face reel, and she caught on pretty quickly.
No, it's way better, dude. The thumb button one sucks.
Yeah.
And kids jack them up and they fall apart anyways. But like
You spend
every
all day
kid,
fixing your reel.
yeah, we always have our kids using the, they close the bail and
Yeah.
start reeling. That's the best.
Okay. Now, so she was using one of my open faces, and I was holding it for her while she went to get a sip of water. And of course, a trout hit it, and the cork went on. I was like, "Hey, baby, come get it." So she ran over, started reeling it in, and she got it to the dock, but there was like a backlash on the bottom of the reel. So I was like, "Man, we got to get this fish. We got to take this inside. Like, we got to get it so we can harvest it and eat it or whatever." So I reeled it on in. But that activity that we did together, that teamwork,
Yeah.
obviously you can't put a price on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, wait till you go hunting with her. You bag a deer or something. That's gonna be fun.
Wait till I go hunting with you.
Yeah, the two. Dude, you know what though? You know who to talk to is David. You go sit in his back house, dude. Just sit in their hunt house. It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's really pretty. That's why last deer I shot was at David's house.
Nice. I definitely end up talking to him
Yeah.
about possibly doing some hunting. But so you grew up in Idaho?
Yeah, Nevada, and then I moved to Idaho when I was like 15. 15, yeah.
What was it like coming up?
Idaho, Boise was dope. I liked it. It was a cool town. And, it was bigger than where I lived before in Nevada, but it was fun. Got in a lot of trouble. Did some good things. It's good too.
Hey, let me ask you this. You remember, I forget what we was talking about exactly, but I told you I had some BBs on my arm. And you was like, it sounded like you was doing wild stuff like I did when I was a kid. And I was like, we'll talk about that one day. But I don't want to make the podcast about that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Kids do crazy shit, and the fact that you don't get yourself killed is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I had put myself in a very bad position, hanging around somebody I probably shouldn't have been hanging around, and one thing led to another.
Dude.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I might edit it out. I just want to talk to you about it though, just because. So, I had met this guy, and like he sold weed allegedly. We hang out and smoke, hang out with chicks or whatever, and drink. And one time I had went over there. He was like, "Yeah, this dude came and like took my bag and didn't come back with it." He was like, "So when I talked to him, we gonna go get it." Naive, dumb, wasn't living that life. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I didn't have a gun, knife, no type of anything to protect myself. Didn't know liquor jiu-jitsu, which that wouldn't help in a gunfight from a distance anyway. But anyway, so yeah, we went down this road. I'll never forget it. There are these yellow yielding lights by McConnell's. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That gas station? Every time I go by there, even to this day, I think about it. But it was dark. I was in my Honda. And that car done been through so much. But going down a dirt road, a gravel road, dark on each side, like it wasn't like street lights or anything like that, I don't think. Next thing you know, pow, my window shattered. It was the guy, he was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
The guy that had took the contraband.
Yeah.
And I think he shot maybe twice. I know he shot once. Maybe it was just that one time, I don't remember. Long story short, like I got hit, like it was birdshot. Thankfully. Yeah. I wouldn't be here probably, obviously. But
that dude shot you?
He shot me. He was in the woods waiting for us and shot my car. And so I got BBs up here. Still, I got BBs right here. So I that's what.
And you're like, and this is the thing is, like growing up out west, like where I grew up, everyone was Mexican, Indian, and white, and so like, there's homies, people shooting each other parties and stuff, but like, I thought like black people were like rap was black people, you know what I mean? Because where we grew up, there wasn't anybody else. And so when I come to South Carolina, you know, and I'm like, oh, dude, there's some country ass black people around, like around the world. That's awesome. You know what I mean? And so you grew up out here though, dude, and it's just as dangerous as growing up in those inner cities, bro. Yeah. You go driving down a dirt road at night in South Carolina, I'm not driving down the dirt road at night.
I definitely learned my lesson.
I mean, today I'd be like, why'd you think that was a good idea? You grew up around here. What's your problem?
I don't know, man. Like I said, I was young and dumb and naive.
Yeah.
I mean, even if contraband wasn't involved, you come on someone's property in the middle of the night.
In the South,
they're
bro.
They're going to be mad.
You might get shit shot at for sure.
It was me and a Native American, and the guy that shot us was white. Picture that.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. Like, it's so crazy. But it's so... I remember that. I was a kid before moving to Idaho, and I was at a party and somebody shot at somebody, and it was like, we were gone. I remember the first time that happened. I have all kinds of stories like that, dude. Like, and we're riding on road trips or something, and the kids will be like, tell us a story, Dad. And I'll be like, which one can I tell? You know, because it's stupid, man. I'm not regretting the way I did stuff as a kid, I guess. But it is still, I'm glad my kids are not like that.
Yeah.
Because they're 100% different than the way I was when I was a kid.
Yeah. Some of that might come from the homeschooling that you do, right, Coach Janae?
Having two parents in the home's a big deal, dude.
Having us both around, and
yeah.
I think it helps that you don't want them to make the same mistakes you made, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Aware.
We were like smoking weed with our friends' parents, you know, as like teenagers and stuff. And so you're like, it's not hard to figure out why, you know, you go and do stupid shit when the adults around you were doing stupid shit.
Yeah, there was some parents around here that would let the kids drink.
Yeah.
They'd be like, their mentality was, well, I'd rather them drink at home versus
that's
go out.
That's what my dad always said too.
Yeah.
But my dad, I was adopted, so my dad didn't know, he shouldn't have told me that either. You know what I mean? Like, he should have been like,
well,
no,
you
you just
want to
don't
let your
drink.
own kid have a drink at home, that's up to you, but.
Yeah, you shouldn't be like, you and all your buddies can drink at home.
Talk about a liability. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, it's like, if you're like at Thanksgiving and your kid, you're like, oh, your 17-year-old son or something, hey, you want a beer with me? That's one thing. But being like, you and your friends should drink here, that way I know it's safer. It's like, you know, it's safer. Nobody drinking.
Right.
That's the kind of parent you should be.
Yeah.
And if you catch them, you kick their ass, you know.
I think a lot of that has to do with like over in Europe, right? They kind of come up with the kids like talking to them more about alcohol, and they let them like drink a little bit of wine early on, and they don't like keep it so restricted from them.
It's not such a mystery.
And it's not such a mystery.
Yeah,
I don't know
like our
psychology behind all that though.
I don't know, man, but America's different about a lot of stuff, and it's like we don't hide our alcohol from our kids either in our culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? But why are we like? I think what it is just that America we have this like paradigm in our culture of extreme, like we don't fuck around. Americans jump in with both feet oftentimes, you know, when you think about relative to other cultures sometimes, and it's like, and it's usually in things that are not good, you know, and so drinking is like, whereas Europe, you know, I mean, they started 2 world wars and didn't finish either of them. They're pretty mild-mannered, so they do everything slow and not jumping in with both feet. I don't know. They did start 2 world wars, so maybe they do jump in with both feet too many times. But anyways, I'm just saying, you know, like, I was joking, but I'm like, I don't know why it's so different. I think it's just because it's more part of what they do. Like, every night at dinner, you have a glass of wine in some of those cultures over there, so.
I think the legal drinking age is 18.
Yeah. But, I don't know. It's weird. Why it's different.
Can you do me a favor and swing that mic a little bit so it'll be a little closer to her face?
This one?
Yeah. Just keep going a little bit. Just.
Little.
All right. Thank you. Why did you decide to homeschool the kids? It's a rhetorical question, but it's fascinating.
Well, I guess we've done it before. So when we lived in Nevada, we did it for a short time just because we were unhappy with the school system.
There you go.
Very rural and just made more sense to be home. So we did it then. And then we did it during COVID for a semester. And So we've had like stints of it back and forth, but then it started again. Like Otis really wanted to come home. He didn't vibe with school very well, and
he hated it. He'd come home every day and say these kids in
about
class,
the other kids and how they were like
whining,
crying about things, and just
like, we don't
causing
even do
a
anything in
ruckus.
class.
And he would just get so annoyed with the other kids.
Otis was telling us that his class, he's like, I don't even do any schoolwork. We're sitting there listening to these kids whine and complain, and the teachers have to spend all their time with them. And I'm like,
he noticed this in kindergarten. Like he was ready to come home. He's like, I don't vibe with these kids.
Otis will lose it. He'll be like, that's it. I'm smacking the crap out of you.
He's the youngest, so a little short-tempered maybe.
Yeah, he is.
But once he wanted to come home, so he came home the first year, and I was able to. I mean, I don't work outside the home, so I had the availability to. The option, which was great, and then the other two boys wanted to come home too. So we liked that we had control of the curriculum. Really, it just works better for our schedule. We're at the gym so late every night, and it's really hard to get them to bed on time and then to be up early to get off to school. They're just tired, and it just fits a lot better with our lifestyle to be able to kind of push things back a little bit later and start the day a little bit later. So
that's a good point.
That's been nice.
I love it, and I don't know if y'all listen to the podcast I did with Justin, but I was like, I really wish you could homeschool Lyric. I said it like a couple times.
Yeah.
I know you got your hands
unfortunately,
full.
I'm glad. It's a lot, and some days I'm like, maybe I should go back to school. No, it is a lot, but I'm grateful that I'm able to do it. That Joey works, and I don't have to, so I like that it fits better into our schedule, and we can.
I would be interested to know, like, if we were able to put your curriculum up beside like the public school system's curriculum. I bet there's a drastic difference, and I bet you like yours is way better.
I don't know about that. I mean, they're not teaching too different of stuff. It is
as far as like math and English, like that's I feel like very similar.
Right.
I feel like the things we do are more life skills that like actually help you have the skills that you need to be a successful adult, not just like learning how to think, how to have, like when we talk about shopping and just I
mean, like
groceries, the things that you're like
for me, the school stuff that I care about the most is like you have to be reading and doing math. And I'm like, and the reason I say it is because like if you can read, you can learn anything. If you can read, you can figure out how to do anything. And then math is problem solving. It's all math is. It's like you have this tool set and here's a problem. How do you use these tools to solve that problem? Every kind of math there is. It's like, whether you're doing calculus or geometry or trig, like there's sets of rules inside of each one of those. And if you know what those are, which is why I say, like, we shouldn't be letting people out of high school that didn't take like year one physics, what you would take in college, and like college level algebra. If everybody did that, we'd have way less people that say some stupid shit on the internet, and then way less people that believe it.
That's a good point.
It's because everybody would be way more. They'd have a better power perception. They'd be able to be like, that doesn't make sense.
Especially with the physics, at least like we can't, with our brains, we can't fully comprehend the universe and how it works, right?
Yeah.
As far as what I'm saying, but like, at least it would give them a touch or a sense of, don't be so self-centered, and it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
And the universe is huge.
I think the other thing is you also would have less people that you'd have more respect for the fact that in many, many things in the natural world that we all use to live a modern life, there has to be this, then this, then this, then this. There are processes. You don't skip. You can't skip. It's just how it is. And if you understand a whole bunch of those from a physics perspective, man, all kinds of stuff, you're like, that doesn't make sense, on all kinds of things. And so that's why, like, I'm really glad that like my Instagram is like, it's all jiu-jitsu stuff and no baloney that people make an ideology. I'm like, F all that, because nobody knows enough about any other thing. You go and you look at how much stuff people forget just from their high school years within like 2 or 3 years of them being out.
Yep.
And I'm like, dang, y'all ain't even trying to not be dumb.
I think that's like the biggest point of homeschooling is that we're not just memorizing facts, we're just teaching you how to think. Like
You don't get to be a moron.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just not how it works.
And like real world applications.
Yeah, real world application and how to think for yourself and figure things out.
Yeah.
Most of us aren't going to remember things like you just said, like the little details and the facts. Like we forget that stuff.
Right, but
we
think about
know
like
how to figure it out. And we know how to find it.
You think about, like why do people start arguments? Like how does that start? It's because one person or one group doesn't understand what's up with whatever's going on with some other group. Okay, and instead of being like, I'm smart enough to think through this and think about whether or not this fight is even worth starting. Yeah. I know how things work enough in the world. Think maybe there's something else going on there. Okay, like instead though, nobody does that. Everybody just goes right to it because they don't want to actually try to use perception.
There you go.
They don't want to like slow down and use critical thinking. Everybody wants everything just given to them, or they just want to jump to the reaction. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, dude, like, you made people take those classes, and it's like, you're not getting out of high school until you do. Which you'd have like 21-year-olds in high school still be like, that's your problem. Sorry. Make yourself do it, because then you have to have discipline. Which is what it also takes to use critical thinking and perception. Yeah. And so you're like, man, I mean, we had, something at a tournament, this person, said something about one of our athletes, and it was like, well, they didn't even ask the whole story. They didn't ask anything. It was like, they just jumped to this one conclusion. And then I was like, but if you knew like this kid's story of how he's gotten to where he is in jiu-jitsu, like he's where he belongs. He's a novice, you know what I mean? And you're like, but instead, these people don't have the discipline to not jump into that right away. They just right away want to attack. And you're like, hey, man, hey, guys, what's your problem? Use your brain. Make yourself have some critical thinking. Make yourself have some perception. And then think about whether or not you need to go start some stuff. That's so many problems in the world. You can tell that's because people won't do that. So
let me ask you this. Yeah, so there's a line between, in my opinion, critical thinking versus overthinking. Mm-hmm. How do you draw that line? Like
that's a good like way to say it too. I never really thought about that. Like, yeah, because like one of my biggest frustrations in my professional career is like overcomplicating things, which is what people that think they're smart want to do all the time. And I don't think it's because necessarily that they think they're smart, but it's this thing where like they're insecure about something, and so they want to overdo it. But it's my friend, one of my mentors and friends, he was talking to me about this other guy that we've worked with in the past, and he was like, that guy is a serial overcomplicator. and I was like, that's funny, I've never heard that before. But yeah, but like critical thinking and overthinking, they're not the same thing at least in my mind. I'm like, overthinking is anxiety. It's fear driven, You're
dwelling on it.
Yeah, or like you're trying to impress somebody, or you know what I mean? And so, whereas critical thinking is discernment. It's not perception. I mean, when I said perception before, I meant to say discernment. Make yourself use discernment. Make yourself use critical thinking. Like the power to discern. Like us, like for our teenagers, like our own kids, and then like at the gym, that's like the thing I try to talk to them the most about. Is like the ability to discern what's going on in front of you is a superpower. If people would try to use discernment and use critical thinking, less arguments would happen, less problems between human beings would happen. But nobody tries to do that because what that requires is knowing context or having to actually ask for the context. But nobody wants to do that. And so that's where I go, if you're like anxious though, and you're like worried and it's fear driven, or you're like trying to impress somebody, there's some stress there, some external stress. I think that's where overthinking kind of comes in. But critical thinking is discernment, like you're trying to. Yeah.
It's like when you have too many options, like you're shopping on Amazon and there's 50,000 options, and you're like, I'm overwhelmed. Too many good choices. Which one do I pick? And then you start going down that rabbit hole and you overthink it. That's not helpful, right? You're just like, now you just need to pick one, make a choice, and go. So that line between like, I'm going to be smart about making my choice, but not spend so much time agonizing over it that,
That sounded weird.
Yeah. I wanna circle back to what you said earlier, and I think the second runner up as to why people get into disagreements and fights is because somebody in that scenario doesn't want to admit that they're wrong.
Yeah. Stinking stupid pride, man.
That pride getting in the way, bro.
Pulp Fiction, when he says, like, you know, Butch, when you're about to throw that fight in the 5th round or whatever, and he's like, you're gonna feel this sting. That's pride fucking with you.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck pride, you know. It always hurts. It never helps. It's crazy. And now, there's 2 kinds of pride, right? Like, you're proud of your daughter and any achievement she makes, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that when you think about those achievements, are you thinking, man, she's better than everybody else?
Absolutely.
Okay,
not.
that's the differences in pride, right?
Right.
You know, so if you go, man, my kid is better than everybody else, now you're being a prideful jerk, you know, but stupid pride, man.
Yeah. I feel like when I do a podcast, I literally like put up Post-it notes, and then I'll come back to them later and still be able to like comprehend what you're saying and
That's
100%
crazy.
dial in on you. I want to circle back to the homeschooling thing. I got a question. For a parent that's out there that has a child that doesn't really like to read, not like motivated to read,
Yeah.
can read
My
though,
kids.
can read,
Yeah.
but like the reading comprehension is an issue. What are some good tools or activities that that parent could, you know, do with their child?
I don't know. Good
Inquiring
question.
minds
Like,
would love to know.
Right. Like,
Or fucking
same.
reading.
Like my kid, more reading, but it is hard. My kids, it's kind of twisting their arm too. I mean, it's not their go-to. That's for sure. Like, you know, my older kids and my girls, they like to read, but
The boys do not.
The boys do not like to read. I have to make them, and I try to let them pick things that they enjoy reading. I don't even care if it's graphic novels at least they're reading. There's still a lot of words on those pages. So as long as they're reading something,
Yeah.
try to lax up on, I would prefer they read some chapter books, but that's not really happening. So as long as they're reading something and they're reading a lot, that comprehension's going to get better.
I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I love you, lyric.
Yeah.
It sucks because it's just like everything else, right? Like, how do I get better at this? Well, you got to go do it. And that's the only way to get better at it. It sucks, like people at jiu-jitsu, the kids class, when I have parents roll up and they'll be like, hey, can we get some private lessons to help him get better? And I'm like, yeah, well, your kid's been in once every 2 weeks for months now, and that's why they're not getting better. It's like you have to get them to practice something that you want them to get better at. And I just straight tell these parents like this to their face. I don't care. Because I'm like,
I need to know.
you're a grown-up, man. What's your problem?
The answer is consistency. So.
Yeah. And so, I don't know.
Well, see, that's the thing about being a human being. Like, I turned 41 last year, right? And just, a lot of other people probably do this too, but like, I lived a long time just making excuses for myself.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get out of that, hold ourselves accountable, especially when you got a kid. You can't let that shit trickle down.
Mm-mm.
I mean, some of it's going to trickle down, but you got to get it together and try to reverse it the best you can.
Yeah. And it's tough because it's like, for kids, like, our ability to get them to practice is legit based on our discipline to make them sometimes, which is never easy. Yeah. It's always hard. And so you're like, on those days that you don't make your kid do what they're supposed to do, because they don't have discipline. They're not motivated the way adults are to have discipline. Because discipline, the fuel for discipline is motivation, and they don't have that. And so on some things, you're going to have to make them do it. And that sucks because it's not going to be fun. And therefore, parents know that and take the easy road and don't do it. And so that's why, and I'm not ripping on parents. We all do it. I'm not ripping on any like everybody all at once. I'm just saying like that's what we do as parents is we go, this is gonna suck. I don't feel like doing this right now. And for me, like I like overcompensated the other direction because of how I was as a kid. Mm-hmm. And so I am like, I never not do what I tell them I'm going to do if they don't do what they're supposed to do. And I've screwed myself over so many times because I'm like, if you don't do this, we're going to do this. And then I have to go do that thing I said, because that's one thing like I will not do is I won't tell my kids something and then not do it. And so I'm like, Well, now I'm sitting in the car while everyone's at the carnival with the one who's being a turd. You know what I mean? Like,
no bluffing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. We've always been pretty hardcore about it. Like, one of our kids lost a birthday party they were supposed to have because of not doing what they're supposed to do, and so.
Did that?
Yeah.
Did they learn their lesson?
No.
It wasn't Sienna,
maybe
was it?
Maybe a little bit, actually. Maybe a little bit.
It wasn't Sienna, was it?
No.
Okay.
For the most, I mean, like, but that's not even that bad. Like, our kids are. We couldn't ask for better kids. They're awesome.
Yeah. Very well behaved. I mean, you never really know. But I'm telling you, man, just watching them, I haven't seen a lot of the kids' classes, but just like talking to them like after the classes. Like I had stepped off yesterday after Matt to get a sip of water. And I don't know if it was Otis, but one of your sons was like, "Is it hard for you to fit inside of cars?"
That's probably
And we
Otis.
just had
That would
like
have
a
been
funny,
Otis.
Yeah, I think it was. We had like a funny little conversation, man. I was like, yeah, it's kind of like when you see like the clown cars and all the clowns are hunched in the car. I feel like I'm like.
That's hilarious. Oh, that
But
guy.
yeah, I can tell y'all are doing a fine job, man. Seriously, like,
That's funny.
so we're gonna switch gears a little bit.
Little bagger.
That definitely sounds like
That's
Otis.
Otis, yeah.
Now, so what's more difficult for you? Like leading a room full of adults in your professional atmosphere, or teaching a group full of white belts on the mats?
No way, dude. Jiu-jitsu is way better. For sure. But, like the reason is because for me, what I think is it's easier because you see people change faster, like for the better. Like my job doesn't really involve me helping anybody develop necessarily. I think I'm obligated to help people do that because people did that for me. Like I 100% would not be professionally where I am without like my first couple managers. Like those people boosted my career big time just by being who they were and what things they taught me and the things they were willing to teach me. Yeah. You don't have to teach people stuff. I mean, people literally, you can just be a warm body. I mean, I have tons of jobs in my current role where if I could just have a person doing something, it'd be fine. But I don't want to do that. It sucks. I want that person to actually care about what they're doing. So better quality work, and you have people that are passionate about what they do. So, but, like in my job, like it's technical, like I'm talking to like other engineers and geologists, and I'm talking to these people that like manage large budgets in these big mining companies and stuff. And so it's always like there's some big goal, we have some task that's needing to be done. And so it's not necessarily the same thing. I just think that it's not nearly as fun. And the reason is because like mining exists because humans wanted stuff and we couldn't grow it. So we had to make it, and no matter what you may have in your, idealistic mind, like if you aren't willing to go back to rubbing sticks in caves, then you need mining, So like humans need mining. And so I'm like, well, I guess, mining is ultimately for people, granted it's not, these investors make gobs of money off this shit. So, but, it does provide something that we all benefit from, right? We're doing a podcast because mining exists.
Yes, a lot of the stuff
all that
goes...
metal that's in there did not get grown on a tree,
Exactly.
The plastic and all that stuff. So I'm like, it's still for humanity, which is part of the reason I'm so passionate about my job is because like it is like the basis for every society on the planet, which I think is cool. But like watching moms that were like 100 pounds overweight and dads that have never achieved anything in their entire life or not to themselves. I mean, everybody's achieved all kinds of stuff, but you can tell some people come to you and they're like, they feel like they haven't achieved anything. So watching them all of a sudden flip a switch in their head where they're now badasses, it's like, dude, that's way cooler, And then I get to feel like a badass, you know what I mean? I get to train all the time, so it's like, that's really cool,
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. That second strike right there on that belt right there, that ain't look good over there.
But it's cool, you know, like I was talking about, you know, like that's why like our Instagram is like, I don't care about being on Instagram. I don't care about showing some technique that everybody else knows. Nobody on Instagram showing moves that they invented. This stuff's all been around for a grip, and if you don't believe me, go back to like 1920s judo matches and watch all that stuff, and you'll see De La Hiva, and you'll see, you know, all kinds of stuff. You'll see people, you know, ducking out of, you know, buggy chokes and all kinds of stuff that people call new school today.
Like the K guard.
Yeah, you're like, all that stuff's been around forever. Nobody in modern times invented that. All right, so you're like, nobody's teaching anything different than each other. So I don't care about showing that stuff. It's like, you know, I just want to show how there's a bunch of people that everyone would just call normal people.
Yeah, really.
Out there working hard.
Out there working hard,
yeah.
beating the crap out of each other, you know.
The definition of humility.
It's just like, I don't know. I think it's cooler for all of them than it is. I'm not there to be on Instagram. The hell do I care? But it is cool to show, you know, like teenagers whooping adults and you know girls beating men and men beating the crap out of each other, and then like, you know, husbands and wives smashing each other and on the mat, you know, and you know, it's cool. It's like, so I don't know.
And I do want to get to you rolling with some NFL players back in the day, but I'm going to get back to the stripe now. I'm not chasing stripes, but that achievement did mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what's going on, coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm there to get better every day. Every day when I'm there, I'm there to get better.
Yeah.
I'm not chasing stripes, brother, but I'm telling you, I appreciate you. Like,
that's why I like our group, dude, because I feel like everybody that's there, everybody that trains at the academy is like, they understand the idea that like you're just trying to blow off your life for an hour and not have to think about it and take that mental break and be 1% better every day.
It's nice to see that acknowledgement of your progression, you know, your hard work.
Exactly, yeah.
It's nice to see that.
I know, that's why I hate when I hear people say things like, oh, your belt doesn't matter or stripes don't matter, and I'm like, go, if anybody ever says that to you with like a serious straight face, you should punch them right in the face, dude, because what do you mean? Like, who cares? How dare you say it to somebody? That's like telling them their kid doesn't matter, or like, you know, because they put a shitload of work into each one of those stripes, dude. And, you know, like all these you see online right now, like, oh man, wrestling this, jiu-jitsu that, and you're like, they're not even the same thing. Like, jiu-jitsu people don't go to wrestling tournaments and do jiu-jitsu. They go to wrestling. They're not the same discipline, so stop comparing them. It's just really dumb. And then, like, but okay, so that stripe doesn't matter to that person, but they go watch that person train, dude. Everybody's sweaty. Everybody's coming out of there super tired. You know, like, if jiu-jitsu wasn't hard, like, you wouldn't get a muscle pump from it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you're like, go tell a wrestler that has been wrestling for the past 2 years that it doesn't matter. You know, oh, they're going to be like, F you, dude. That was awesome. It was hard. So it's the same thing, you know, but I think it's cool. I don't care. You don't have to.
You're not doing it to get the stripe. That's not the goal, but it still is like a nice recognition.
A lot of academies are like, oh, we don't do stripes. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, well, that's cool. You can do that. It's your thing. We give stripes at ours. And to these people, it does matter. So no worries. But it does mean a lot. I'm glad it does, because it's like, you know, I watch you struggle and I have to put up with you not listening, and so it's good. I'm glad you're grateful. I'm just kidding.
The truth has been exposed.
I'm just kidding. But for real though, it's like, I don't know. I always love giving them out, so it's awesome.
The group of people out here that think the way that you said a little bit ago, they probably didn't take physics class. About the jiu-jitsu and wrestling, they probably didn't take any physics classes.
Maybe, yeah.
At all. But I said a long time ago, man, the reason why I train is to be able to like deal with the things that the world send my way that I have zero control over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes the voluntary difficult thing.
Yeah, things that are pushed on you.
I totally push it there. But doing something like voluntary, that's a struggle, that's hard, it's very important to me.
Well, yeah, so you're like, okay, do you grow from things that are challenging that you didn't want?
You didn't choose.
You didn't choose to have happen, yeah. Mm. For sure, right? but not always. That's why we have trauma, right? Trauma is when you had a challenging time but did not grow from it. It jacked you up. You know, that's what trauma is.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and it sucks. You know, it sucks to think of it that way, but that's what it is. And it's like, but yes, there are lots of times you get challenged when you're growing up or coming up in life or whatever, and you do grow from it. You know, but I do think when you go find hard things to do and accomplish them, I mean, they mean a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm able to deal with the unknown, the things I have no control over so much better because of my training. Mm-hmm. There's various benefits of it, but, you know, I think Victor said that they haven't done a case study on people that train jiu-jitsu yet. Just for mental health. I don't think they've actually sat and done like a case study. But we all know testimony-wise it is 100% beneficial. Yeah, that's now I'm getting riled up.
No, it's your passion.
Let me calm down. I just got chills on the back of my neck.
Lots of anecdotal evidence, right?
So proof is in the pudding, as I said.
Well, I think that all psychology stuff is anecdotal evidence because the science I'm in, you actually go measure shit. So, but like, I think that if you don't get anything out of jiu-jitsu, or maybe it's Muay Thai, maybe it's boxing or wrestling or whatever it is that you're doing, I think you have to be doing something that allows you sparring and training in a group. But like during that time, you can't think about anything other than what's happening right in front of you. You can't. It's just anything that pops into your head about bills, or you're got to pick this person up here, take this, whatever, in normal life, it's gone instantly. It's in my opinion, it's like, sounds like what people are talking about when they tell me what meditation is. I've never been able to just, everyone, clear your mind. I'm like, how? Okay, like, I don't know. I've never been able to meditate in the way that everyone says that it helps them. Because I'm like, I sit there thinking about all kinds of crap. Yeah. When people tell me, like, running, they're like, oh, yeah, that's what happens when I run. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've ran. And I thought the entire time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, no, in jiu-jitsu or anything else where you're, like, having to do something to something else right in front of you, or it's going to do it back to you. Like, you don't get to think about anything else. And there's very few other things you can do. Like, I think that's one of the reasons I think I like mountain biking when we lived out west, was that like, you're picking your way down a slope where there's rocks everywhere, and if you fall off your bike, you're going to get really, really hurt. Like, you're not thinking about anything but that little trail, you know? And so it's like blanking. For that amount of time, your brain is literally like only thinking about primal stuff.
Primal.
And it's a break. Your brain gets a vacation. Like your normal thing that gets driven by cortisol or drives cortisol, you know, like that part of your brain gets to shut off for a little while. And it's really, really good for you.
It really is, man. And just getting out in the woods and hiking, and you mentioned mountain biking. And like I said earlier, going to the mountains.
I'm sitting there thinking the whole time I'm hiking. I'm like, oh man, I got stuff in normal life in my head.
Yeah, and that meditation thing, like back to that like suffering or that voluntary, like doing a difficult thing. I get in a sauna and I meditate, pray, whatever, like, and I can't go blank in my mind. I can't. I can't.
I don't think that's, I don't know. If that's what meditation is, where you're just thinking about all your life's normal shit, I'm like, well, that's what I've always done.
I don't want to do that.
You're supposed to be blank, right?
Right. That's why I got the radio on when I'm driving down the road into my vehicle, because I don't want to, my thoughts running through my head.
That's why I like books on tape. Because I think books on tape are like, I can drive and let my mind be blank for that drive, and I can just listen to a story that's playing in my brain. You know, I think it's kind of a nice break. That's why, when I used to have to drive to work and back, before I worked from home, it was like I'd use a book to just unwind, or it was good. You said something earlier that
made zero sense.
No. I don't know. I think it was about like when we were talking about like doing challenging things by choice. You know, that was funny. I was listening to Nate Diaz, and he was talking about like why he wanted to learn to swim, like when he was young. He was like, I live in California, I might be in some water. I need to know how to swim, you know. And And he said, and then we started fighting and doing stuff, and he realized that he didn't know how to fight, and that these people could just do whatever they wanted to him. And he was like, this is like swimming. Everybody should know jiu-jitsu. And he was like, because somebody could just come up and drown you. And I was like, it's true, you know, realize how, like, you think you're bad. I mean, I was a brown belt in judo when I started jiu-jitsu, and I was getting destroyed. I mean, I take people down. But you don't stop when you hit the ground like you do in judo. So it was like, oh man, 3-stripe white belts kill you, dude. You know, when you're a brown belt in judo, because the ground game's so different. You just get swallowed, and you're like, oh, I can't fight.
You mentioned the thing about Nate Diaz, and I'm thinking back, like, what is it that you think that has the majority, I'm going to say majority of the population, I could be wrong, I'm not a statistician, but why is majority of the population not thinking logically like that now? Do you think that we've lost like a certain ability or like a certain trait that we had and over a period of time with, I guess, people that's pulling the strings and or like technology, we're getting away from that primal.
Yeah.
Or the primal sense of things. I'm pretty sure that the people back in the day that were living like hunters and gatherers, they were way more logical and had way more common sense and weren't whining and going on like, you know what I'm saying, at school and stuff like that. Just all that together. Like, how can we get back to that? I mean, I know how I'm going to do it and you already own it, but like, people need to wake up, man.
Yeah.
And stop complaining all the time. Like, it's time for the real change to happen. So, I don't know. That was a crazy question.
I think people are also stuck on convenience.
Yeah.
And modern life is way more convenient. So, like, choosing to be more primal is harder. And people also, it's, well, then is it going to be better for you or is it going to be convenient? So, yeah, it has to be a conscious choice to say, I realize that's better for me, so I need to challenge myself to.
Paradigm. The word I was trying to say earlier that I was linking back to earlier, what you said was a paradigm shift is what we need, I think. But I think it's kind of happening.
It's like the basis of your values, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's funny because, like, they want convenience, they want ease. Mm-hmm. And this is, like, one of our students was, like a year ago. I mean, those guys went on vacation, like, every 6 weeks. And I was like, where have you been? You know, where you been? And he, we keep going on vacations. Or I keep scheduling this for going on this. And I was like, that's what's going to kill you one day. I was like, vacationing too much is bad for you. 100%. And I'm like, I think, like, even for me, like, I love going on vacation. I love, like, going down to Florida and chilling, you know, and not having nothing to do. Yeah. And this is sometimes when I think about, like, if I won the lottery, it might be really bad. Like, now you don't have to go to work and be good at doing hard things, you know, and have the discipline to make yourself do them.
You're still trying, though, right?
That's what I'm saying, though. But, like, at that point, you're like, you would get weak.
Yeah, you would.
Because you don't have to be strong. And so it scares the shit out of me, you know what I mean? I'm like, that would suck. Because in my mind, what you're talking about is the fact that we have 1 million years of evolution to become human beings. And in, like, 10 to 20 generations, we've said, fairness sounds nice. Let's all try to make humans all get along like we never did. And make everybody have equal everything. Because that sounds fair and nice. But our 1 million years of evolution that's in our brain and in our bodies is going, yeah, well, if you aren't trying to fix your house, make fire, get water, get food, and make babies, and then worry about having to fight to keep all of it, your brain is screaming at you. Because every day, that's what people had to worry about to live one day 10,000 years ago, you know? And so your brain is screaming at you. You aren't doing any of those 6 things ever. You're going to die, you know, like, and so I think that's why, like, we have naturally high cortisol. You know, like, dudes, you know, with, like, low tests and stuff, things are all messed up because we aren't doing any of the stuff that our bodies think we're supposed to be doing to not die overnight.
And what you just said is awesome, Coach. Thank you. And that's like the mental health, like, foundation. The mental health foundation, right? I mean,
I don't know. I just think that, like, think about it. Like, 10,000 years ago, somebody going to bed, for sure, they're worried they aren't going to wake up the next day.
Oh yeah.
They're worried somebody's going to raid them. They're worried an animal's going to get in and kill somebody.
Real
kill
monsters.
them or kill them. You know what I mean? Something bad.
Yeah, man.
200 years ago, people still were going to bed with that fear a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's like, that doesn't just go away because we all of a sudden want to have these like convenient lives that we think we can get rid of any kind of danger. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, that has. I've never heard anybody say that like that's a like proven fact. I just think that it makes 100% sense, and I feel like when I'm not doing, like when I like now think about that, like I think, and if I'm not moving like I'm trying to all week, it drives me nuts, you know. And it's not like an aggression thing. Oh, I gotta get out my stress, beat on people. No, that's not at all. It's just like I'm at least trained and not having to worry about some of those 6 things, you know, because my body's like, well, you practiced that one, you know. So I don't know.
It's like you put in the work so you can actually relax. You deserve, like you earned it.
Yeah.
So now you can be comfortable a little bit.
Like I go to bed at night, I'm like, man, my walls are fortified.
Yes,
You're prepared.
Yeah.
If you're prepared, you don't have to worry, right?
Right.
That's what that tattoo means.
Yeah, exactly.
Which one?
The Arashikage, my storm shadow.
I was wondering what that meant.
It's from G.I. Joe.
Oh, that is okay. Hey, can you
I'm a ninja. And look, I just said, look, I've passed the Arashikage training. I get the tattoo. I think we need a complete system reset from the top down. Like,
how can we get that to happen?
It's not going to be good. It sucks. Like, the only way you would do that is you'd never get it because there's people making money today that would never allow it to be a natural process.
You're a history buff, right? Like
Yeah.
you love history. What do you think about what's going on with the war? Like,
I don't even
is
know.
this ever-ending
I didn't even
thing?
know what happened.
The thing,
I don't pay attention to any of it, dude.
well, the stuff that's been going on over there in Israel for so many like years. Like, is it ever gonna stop? You think? Is there anything that's gonna happen to
No,
make it
because
stop?
it's religious.
Right.
No way.
Okay.
You got really religious people are crazy, dude. Like, I used to go to church and I went because of there's pieces of religion that are meant to help you in your life,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But the idea that what happens to you in your afterlife makes you better than what someone else believes is going to happen to them in their afterlife blows my mind.
And you're blowing up people over that thought. Like,
Dude,
that's
but
crazy.
it's not just
to me.
that. Like, within Christianity, the way Christians will talk about each other.
I feel like how we talked about, like, pride gets in the way and you want to argue with each other about who's right. And then you throw God into the mix too. And now you've got God and pride. And people use that. And it just is like, there's no convincing them.
Yeah, it's still preachers that get on the stand today talking about that.
Yeah.
About people talking about people at church and this and that.
Well, I mean, but you have Christian religions that'll tell other Christian religions that whole religion's going to hell because of the way they worship God.
Like the different denominations and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so I'm like,
Which is wild. It's like,
I'm gonna go to Jiu-jitsu and go home. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I said something on the podcast one time before. I don't know if you heard it, so I'm going to say it now. I said when shit hits the fan, I'll text my pastor. I'm going to call coach. Like, coach, what's up, man? We'll be.
Yeah, I wouldn't be texting any pastor. Like, bud, you're on your own. We'll see who's right. But I'm just kidding with me. But I'm like, I don't know. I hope that never happens. That would be terrible, you know. But so, like, with the war and stuff, and like with Israel, I mean, dude, everything that has happened after World War II, like, has been completely weird compared to all of our history around, like, war and government decisions before World War II. Like, totally different.
Can you give, like, one good example?
Well, like, you know, before World War II, so World War I, we were isolationists. You know, we didn't really do much with the other countries for a long time, like, in terms of world, like, geopolitics.
Now, let me ask you this real quick. Now, that was the one when, like, somebody assassinated, like, the Archbishop.
Archduke, yeah.
The Archduke Ferdinand or something like that? Okay,
right. Yeah, so World War I, we stretched our legs a little bit. We were still pretty isolationist, though, by the time World War II came around. You know, like, the Depression had happened right after World War I, you know, and everybody was reeling from that. We were trying to keep our own stuff straight. And then, you know, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. And And so we were like, well, now we have to fight. But what happened when World War II happened is that we bombed Japan. Okay, and so then we went and rebuilt our country because we felt bad. And that's when America started building countries.
Because they saw the potential to get money, right?
Saw the potential to put all kinds of agenda wherever we wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, but then why was there agenda when there wasn't agenda before World War II? Well, you go, well, we realized how close we came to all of us speaking Japanese or German, and started thinking it was best to now extend out and have intelligence, you know? Yeah. And so we went and got into a battle with the Russians on who got which German scientists. And we started putting those crazy bastards into all kinds of roles in our government that they should have not had any business being part of. And as soon as we did that, that's when fascism and communism started creeping its way into our government, because we had those people working in our government. And it's like, you're like, we were fine. And then as soon as we started doing that, you know, like, we don't have a capitalist system anymore in our country. We have a greed and marketing system in our country, you know, and you're like, why is that? Well, the idea is communism and fascism, they don't want anything like we live lives now. They want us to be these weak people you're talking about. They want us, you know, you need a group of people to be cows so you can have a government that is aristocracy over everybody. And so we have that. That's our government, you know, like, we don't have
it's not a democracy, right?
Well, we aren't a democracy anyways.
It's a republic. It's a corporation.
A constitutional republic, you know, like, so we have a constant. The fact that our constitution still keeps us out of so much trouble, the fact that it's respected as much as it is, blows me away. And it should be. We should be thanking our lucky stars. And if you call yourself a patriot, I'm just going to get on a little soapbox here. If you call yourself a patriot and you've never read the Constitution outside of high school, you should kick yourself in the nuts, 100%. Because I read it every year.
I'm putting my cup on first.
You need to read that stuff. You need to know your rights, dude. You need to know how our country's run and why it's supposed to run the way it is. But anyways, so then, okay, so we put these German scientists in all these spots. They start seeping, you know, fascist and socialist ideas.
Telling everyone, check on your neighbors, make sure there's no communism creeping in. Tell on people.
Neighbors
keep a
never used
lookout,
to do that shit before.
But at the same time, you're implanting them in your own government. Like, you put them in positions.
But that idea came from communism.
Yeah,
that's what Russia was like, and Germany. You're supposed to tell on your neighbors if they're not doing what the Reich wants, or what the what do they call it in Russia?
Well, they was doing this shit during COVID in some places, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But listen, like, in America, people didn't do that before that. Yeah. The 50s were all full of McCarthyism and the idea that J. Edgar Hoover, you know, he had everybody trying to spy on each other to find communists and to find, you know, traitors and all this stuff. And you're like, that's exactly what Russia operated like, and Germany. They were the exact same way. Well, how'd that happen? Well, is in the name of national security and public safety. Well, we were publicly safe before all that. What happened? You know, and it's like, well, because those ideas came from the people that we allowed to be in our government because we wanted their intelligence, like, to be how smart they were, because of how far Germany got in such a short period of time. You know what I mean? And so it was like, you should read there's a book called Project Paperclip.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Dude, Project Paperclip, and Russia had its own version of it, and then we traded scientists. So, and it was like 20 years later. So now you have these Nazis that have been living in communist Germany, or communist Russia, or East Germany.
Some of them down in Argentina, ain't it?
Well, but hang on, let me finish. So those guys, though, like, now we take them and put them in our government after they were in Russia for 20 years, enjoy, like, living, you know, like, so great. And so that's why we have all this, like, you know, like, we have all this, like, you know, communist and fascist stuff that is part of our government, you know, because it's like, well, that got slipped in there on purpose. And if you you want to hear some creepy shit, dude, there's a YouTube video you should listen to, and it's Nikita Khrushchev talking, or, well, actually, it's Ezra Taft Benson, who is the Secretary of Agriculture under Dwight D. Eisenhower. He had to give Nikita Khrushchev a tour of the United States, like farming. And you should listen to what Ezra Taft Benson says about Nikita Khrushchev and the things that they talked about. And Nikita Khrushchev told him, he just straight told him, he was like your children will grow up under communist rule. And Ezra Taft Benson was like, I will do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen. He was like, you Americans are so gullible and so prideful. He's like, we won't have to fight you. He's like, we'll just keep feeding you communism slowly over time until you'll be ripe fruit to pluck. And he's like, it's like, it makes the hair on my neck stand up. I hate it. Like, listen to that. And it's a recording of him addressing Congress after this thing where they were like trying to be buddy during the Cold War, you know, and it's creepy, dude. That's their plan, dude. And it is a plan. And whether or not our government knows about the plan or believes the plan is real, I don't know. Like, I do believe there's a concerted effort to make Americans weak, you know. And it's not just us. I think the rest of the world is on the same trajectory. You know, there's, you know, they want the whole world government, and they want the world to be a city, and you have the high highs and you have the low lows living down here. You know, it's like the bigger the gap between the two, the higher they live. And so it's crazy. It sucks to think about that. I really hope that's not true. I'd like to think that I'm just nuts, but shit ever did hit the fan. I'm like, well, the whole family can shoot guns, so we're sitting here and going until it's gone, you know?
Yeah. I want to go back real quick to the Christianity thing. If people would just focus on the teachings of Christ, the world would be a lot better place.
Yeah.
Versus talking about people what they're wearing at church, or being too overly concerned about what you're going to wear to church.
What specifics?
It's like a come as you are thing. It's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, because I am a follower of Christ. And I'll be like, man, I can just stay at home and read my Bible sometimes. So honestly, I can go out in the woods and take a hike, and I feel very close to God. Well, that's just me, though. You know what I'm saying?
Following the teachings of Jesus, or like having a relationship with God, is not the same thing as religion,
right?
In my opinion,
I don't think that they should be considered that. But like, religion tries to tell you what your relationship should be shaped like, and that's the part that bothers me.
And then that's what I'm saying. Like, getting in that Bible and getting my interpretation of it, bro. That's what it says.
We used to go to church, and like I never grew up religious, and then when we started going to church. And it was the church Janae grew up in. Like, I don't know. I just always saw things from a different point of view than the folks that were always in my classes talking about it. I just think from an angle of being grown up in it, raised in it, indoctrinated a bit.
Yeah.
And man, I'd see people's skin crawl just because I mentioned about thinking about a scripture from a different point of view. You know, from someone who doesn't think about it like so literally. I mean, it's really crazy some of the stuff, you know, that people want to believe or want to believe makes them better than others or stuff, you know? It's like...
Yeah, it's jacked up.
What's the last thing that God, that you claim to love and want this relationship with, would want you to act like to other people?
Yeah. And then you got different denominations. There's so much division. I just wanted to just...
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, that's why I think people didn't like that, because, you know, like in the church we were in, it's like, it believes 100% that it's got the real gospel, you know? And so when you talk about it from a different point of view to those kinds of people, they think about it the way as if you're from a different denomination interpreting the scriptures differently, you know? And I'm like, that's wild, right? You know? But if you go to another church and say the things that we were learning in our church at another church, they would look at you the same way. They'd be like, what the heck? You crazy? You know?
It's kind of ironic that people get upset with each other like that, given that it's a translation from a whole different language anyway. Multiple languages.
Same team, guys.
I just think,
right.
Do you believe, you believe, like, Jesus is supposed to be in everybody's life, right? Right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, when people fight over that and, like, who's right about how he's supposed to be in your life,
that's the issue.
Like, in my mind, I think that's like fighting over how you drink water. Oh man, you don't drink that water right. You're not good.
Oh, it wasn't lukewarm. You had it in the refrigerator, so
you
it's
hold it to your lip weird. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Because if you believe that God's supposed to be in everybody's life, if you believe everybody's supposed to have a relationship with their Heavenly Father, dude, it's like, but you rip on people for the way they do it? That is literally like ripping on people for the way they drink water or the way they breathe. You're like, You realize how stupid that sounds, right?
Yeah. We're going to get off of that.
Yeah.
I didn't put up a Christmas tree.
Maybe we just fix the world.
Yeah, let's do that, but I didn't put up a Christmas tree last year.
No, who cares?
I didn't do it. Exactly. Oh, yeah, before I forget. Back to the fascism and communism thing. I'm all over the place, but like I connect dots. The powers that be, why don't you adopt some of the educational systematic things that put in place in the Scandinavian countries, maybe, or maybe even her.
I think
I don't know. Am I
I
crazy?
tell people like
nobody gonna hear this nowhere.
Young men are like, oh man, like what do I need to know to be good in life? And I'm like, you need to learn to read a tape measure. Just a simple thing like that, dude.
It's funny that you say that. I was on the phone with my cousin recently, and he had kind of forgot like the different measurements and stuff, like the inches, and then you got the centimeters down there.
I'm telling you, man, if you want to, especially like if you want to have a girl, dude, you need to be handy. Because
there's some sweet skills.
being able to impress her and fix stuff that needs to be fixed that makes life less annoying around you two makes up for a lot of stuff you're going to mess up as a dude.
Yeah, they love that
around a girl. It gets you a lot of grace.
Yeah, I had fixed a
not that you're hating on me all the time, but I'm like, it's a big deal. Like chicks like dudes with sweet skills.
Yeah, man,
that's the way it is.
I had fixed the like when you go into the garage, there's like the little wooden planks the wooden steps that go up into the house. I had fixed that for a female friend of mine back in like 2025 or whatever. And it felt good to do that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They do love stuff like that. But it's back to that being comfortable thing. It's like everybody want to be comfortable. Not everybody, but
I think fixing stuff's cool though.
I'm gonna stop because I'm about to go off the rails on that one.
I think I'm too far from this thing. It keeps sounding all echoey in my own ears.
Yeah. I don't know if you can scoot back up or not.
I will. Fine.
See, I got some different mics, man. Like the ones that I started off with. And these are different, but I don't know. So, you mentioned that she had trained back in the day. I want to talk. Wait, let's get to the NFL thing, but I want to talk about how when y'all crossed paths. Like, what was going on that morning when you woke up that morning? I want to hear that from both of y'all.
When we crossed paths for the first time?
Yeah, when y'all first met.
That's cool.
It's a way back memory.
Yeah. Let me think. The morning of the day I met Janae.
Now, setting, location, is this Arizona or Idaho?
It was Idaho. Okay. And it was in September. So it was still warm, barely.
It was warm.
And yeah, because you were wearing shorts.
Yeah. Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, you were wearing shorts. That's why I was like, I gotta talk to her. She had nice legs. And I didn't know. I was like, dang, look at that. Who's that?
We worked together at Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you worked at the other one, and then you like transferred to our store or something, or it was closing or something.
Yeah, the other location was closing, so they transferred us to
you and Jill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. So that morning, what was I thinking about? I don't know. This is September, and it was on I think it was during the week. I was thinking about going to school. Probably it sucked. I was a senior. We were just graduating, just gonna graduate that next May. Yeah, that was crazy. What were you thinking about that morning? Who knows?
It's just a regular day.
No, just regular day. Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember the specific day. I remember he had white spray paint all over my legs because we were marking out a cross country course at practice. We had gone that day to run, and then we were marking out the course that we were going to run on that next weekend, and got in a spray paint battle and got some spray paint on my legs, and he remember him asking me about it.
Legs still, boy.
Yeah, he was like, "What?"
I used that as my line to talk to her. I walked up and said, "Hi, I'm Joey. Why do you have paint on your legs?" Literally, that's what I said. It was awesome.
So, this was high school. Your senior in high school.
Yeah.
At what point did you start training judo?
College.
Oh, okay.
In high school, I boxed in Golden Gloves.
Yeah, don't fail to mention that.
All through high school, that's all I did.
Bad
I wrestled and boxed. It was fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, it made high school pretty good because I never really nobody messed with me at all.
Yeah,
everybody knew I was a boxer. So me and Braden, my friend Braden, that I went to school with, him and I were like There was me and Braden and this other kid. I don't remember his name, but he was a couple grades below me, but he was part of the other boxing club that used our gym. So I never saw any three of us getting into anybody's stuff because nobody wanted none.
When you started training jiu-jitsu, were you already training jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd been married a long time, and he'd been training for like
a year and a half, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Had my blue belt when you started going.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened? Y'all were in Florida when the NFL players came to train with y'all?
Oh yeah, I mean those guys. Yeah, they were members of the gym. There's just two of them.
Okay.
That was quite a few years in.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I was still a blue belt.
Yeah. And you got your purple belt at that gym.
Yeah.
An NFL athlete, obviously, they're pretty vicious as far as what they're capable of doing. Now, did you notice, so were they, what level belts were they when you were training with them?
They were brand new.
Yeah, they were brand new, yeah, like white belts. Like someone like Ryan, you give them a little bit of skill, they become pretty formidable pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys got good fast.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure that really helped develop your training going against them, right?
Yeah, I think there's something to be gained from everybody you train with. Right. Like sometimes a smaller opponent's going to help you figure out how to keep space smaller, and someone who's big and aggressive and strong is going to give you, a different take, and maybe you have to be fast, or maybe you have to be, you're not going to outmuscle anybody, but maybe you have to be a little trickier. It just gives you different things to work on, each person that you train with. So I think there's something to be gained, especially if both people are trying to learn.
I think that's in my opinion, that's the argument against people say, oh, technique always wins over strength. And you're like, yeah, I mean, not in a textbook technique sense. You can't use that same technique that same way on everybody. The same concept. I say concept wins over strength, but that's, but.
We're also playing by a set of rules. I mean, someone that wanted to use all of their abilities against me,
Yeah.
I'm sure they could just be smash, but we're playing by a set of rules, and we're trying to learn a skill. So.
Yeah. And I think that's that's a really important point when we're training, right? It's if you let that person get in a position at all where they could say pick you up and slam you back on the ground, that's probably a really bad way to train jiu-jitsu. You should never let yourself. That's why I don't let anybody do. That's why I don't teach any flying stuff. You can't do flying stuff on concrete outside. You're going to hit your head.
Yeah.
You can't let people pick you up in triangle chokes. You can't ever let yourself get picked up. So in some positions, and as some people are big enough, doesn't matter. They'll pick you up however they want. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Chris, if you weigh less than 170 pounds, Chris will just grab you and pick you up and drop you on the ground. Yeah. I mean, he literally can do it.
It's about Justin's frame, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he literally could do it. And he could just grab me and pick me up. And so like you said, you have to think about how you have to approach that. So for me, with those guys that are way stronger than me, I just stick to them super close. I just don't ever let them get away from me. And I think about where to how to control their head. I'm always trying to hang on their head somewhere, but I'm always stuck to them. They're trying to get up and get away from me, and I'm stuck to a leg. I'm stuck to their arm. I'm wrapped around their waist. It's you don't get to just get away, because if they create space, then they're gonna hurt you. But yeah, those guys, those big dudes, those football players, that's what they were like. They were just so intense. They didn't. You have to tell some white belts start out and you're go easy, okay? And they'll get it. I didn't feel like Keith or what was the other guy's name?
I can see his face. I don't remember his name.
I just remember Jax was really, really liked the guy. He was cool.
Shout out to Jax.
But they were good dudes. They were fun. I watched one guy one of those football players knocked a dude's teeth out on accident. Grappling with him, and then. But they were tough, dude. And at first, we were purple belts when we trained there. And I could hang, Jacob, that was his name.
Oh, yeah.
And so I could hang with Jacob. And Jacob was like a specimen of humanity. That guy he's built like a brick shit house, but lean and just super athlete. And he was 6'5". He was huge. And so I feel like he was shaped like me, except like twice my size.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like the build I have was exactly like twice my size though. And I do okay against Jacob after like 3 months. And then after he figured out like how to not get taken down or how to like actually like escape some stuff. Oh man, it was rough. He was really good.
Coach Janae, can you please tell the women in the community why jiu-jitsu is important and what benefits it could have for women?
I mean, just the same benefits we've talked about for just like mental health and taking a break, doing something for yourself. I think especially as like women and moms, we take care of everybody else and forget about ourselves a lot. And so doing something for yourself, but then you also are like, you're getting a great group of people, you're getting a good workout, and you're getting skills like we talked about with these guys. Like we're playing by a set of rules, and so like especially at first when I know a lot more jiu-jitsu, I can beat them at these set of rules. Like, and do I think if they used all their strength and did everything they could, would I be able to beat them? No, and I wouldn't try to, but I do feel like it gives me like I know I have a chance against some random person out on the street at any time. Like I'm not going to panic. Like I have some skills to keep myself safe. And I mean, sometimes the most safe thing is just awareness and getting away, but also you now know you have some, like how to create that time. Like if I don't know, just gives you like a leg up. You've got some idea of how to handle yourself if you end up in a bad spot, and then keeping yourself safe. So it does make me feel more prepared, like a little less fearful to know, like I hope I never ever have to use that or even think about it. I think your best bet is just creating that awareness, which I think training also helps you with, because you I don't know, you think about those things, I guess, but you also just use your body in a way that you're like aware of what's around you. So staying out of a bad situation is like number one, but heaven forbid you ever end up there, you have some skills, you know, like how to handle yourself, you know how to keep yourself safe. And that does feel good. I think that's a good thing for everybody to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You know, like you said, you were talking about like, could you, if they used everything they had, you know, could you stop them? And I'm like, yeah, I think maybe you were talking about people in the gym that you're training with. Yeah. You know, and the reason that that's an interesting point is because those people, after like 6 months of jiu-jitsu, you're a trained fighter, dude. You know, you have way more practice fighting than 99% of the people you see on the street, you know, and, you know, half of that last percent are people that wrestled in high school that haven't done anything since, you know? Yeah. And then the other, like, and then there's like the other 4.99999% are just pretty adept, you know? And then the little bit that's left are the people that do jiu-jitsu, you know, small fraction of any community you're in. So it's like you have a really, really, really large chance of doing okay against an untrained individual that might attack you. Yeah. Way better. You know, like that same Chris-sized person. You think about Chris when he first came in. He could try and punch you in the face all he wanted. You know, you'd kill him. Now, Chris knowing the jiu-jitsu he does and trying to punch you in the face, bad news. You know, like, so that's why it is kind of goofy to say things like, oh, you know, like a white belt should never be able to beat up a black belt. Or you're like, well, at first, the black belt should always be able to beat the shit out of that black belt or that white belt. But after that white belt stops being a white belt, you know, and they learn a bit, there are some white belts that put it to you pretty good, you know, and it's because they are trained and they have this other skill set.
And you take into account size and age and, I mean, all the other factors.
Yeah, and right? Once somebody becomes... Size matters once you're savvy, and size matters when they're not, because there's people that are just freaking nuts too. Yeah. So, you know, but like you said, it gives you a leg up and gives you a chance, and gives you the mindset that you can.
The mindset to also know that like back. Being in a bad spot isn't the end. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like how to fight through a tough spot, and I think that's really important too. Like not giving up, because I think if it really comes down to it and you're in a life or death situation, you have to know that it's life, not death. Yeah. And whatever it takes, that's what you're doing.
And well said.
Do you remember that was very well articulate. Do you remember the first day I came? Well, I came in there one time 2 years ago, I think.
Way back.
But you remember?
No, bro. Like first time I saw you, it was like a couple weeks after we opened the gym.
I came up there because Kiki was up there training. But you remember when I came up there, like talking about the sponsorships and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that was really when I think that I actually met you.
We actually had a conversation that day. Yeah. What do you think? Like from then and like what I said I was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? To where I'm at now, as far as like, did you think I was crazy?
No.
What were your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think, for one, I thought you were way different than that very first time I met you. Because that very first time I met you, I was like, I'm going to punch that guy in the face. Because you were like, kind of like standoffish and acting all like
for real?
This. Yeah, and I was like,
damn, you remember that?
We were both like,
seriously?
We were both like, man, I don't know what his deal. And I was like, maybe it's just kind of posturing to feel better. And then like later after I got to know you, I was like, like that was a time in your life there was different stuff going on, and I'm and so that's why you can't just act like an asshole, because there's context you don't know.
Yeah.
People aren't being jerks to you because they're with malintent. They're doing it because they don't even know that you have problems too. Like I'm really trying to live like for me, like being the kid that I was growing up, like I got picked on a lot, and then once I wasn't getting picked on a lot. Like there were still things I was super insecure about, like being poor and like just all these kind of things, and getting in fist fights when I was a kid was cool. And so like my first thing was at the drop of a hat, let's just fight. And so as an adult, as I've gotten older, I've been like, no, that's stupid. For one, you go to jail. You're an idiot. You can't be out fighting. And then the other thing is I'm like, man, you know what? Most people that do things to you have no idea they even did anything to you.
It has nothing to do with you at all.
Yeah.
Really,
everybody's going through the same thing in their life as you're going in yours. And so you can't just be like, oh, that person did this thing. And so we were just like, man, that was kind of, what the heck? And then when you came in the second time and we were talking on the chair, I was like, wondering how this is going to go, and so I'm sitting there talking to you, and then I was like, man, this guy's passionate, dude. Like, and that's all I like, when I think about Sodero, I think you're like passionate. You're a passionate guy. And I was like, and I think that every dude should have some passion to him. It's like, what are you living for?
Exactly.
So, but I don't know. I'm proud of you, man. Like,
thank you, Coach.
You have a jacked up elbow. You got hurt that one time, and you still came back. I think that if you stop training because you got hurt a little bit, and you come back, man, you're my kind of sicko.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something real quick though, on the real deal, Holyfield. Though. Judo January, and we was doing hip tosses, and I had adjusted my foot to the left for some reason. I don't know why I did it. I have no idea why I did it. You didn't teach me to do that. You didn't do that in your demonstrations for the drilling. But I did it, and I had some kind of hamstring issue.
I remember that, yeah.
Bro, that was so huge, me coming and training with that. Just training around it.
Making yourself
still
modify.
Up and doing it and modifying. That I learned I'm dead serious. A lot of people say, I learned a lot about myself. I learned tons about myself doing that.
I don't know, like that's why I just train and I'm injured all the time.
Neck's hurting all the time.
And I have to like modify. But what's cool about modifying is that you made yourself have discipline to slow down a bit and think about your movement.
Mm-hmm. You're doing something even like say choosing to do something hard. It's even extra hard because not only does it hurt, but also you have an excuse. You could more of an excuse to like not go or to not do the hard thing. But you overcome the excuse and you train around it. So you learn like workarounds and you learn, you learn a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good shit. And I think that's how you get up to like black belt thinking. When I think about like, what's the difference between like me now versus now, like me 5 years ago training, it's like, I see things like better and easier and like, I see more steps ahead, I can feel more like where you're oriented. It's like the unteachable stuff, And so like, I'm like, I feel like that's like kind of the difference. That's where you got to get to.
That's
and
the stuff that just comes
you
with time.
Notice that better by having to modify because you're the awareness of everything. Where are they relative to that thing that hurts? How do you move it in a way to be useful and not make that hurt? Like, I don't know. I think the training around injuries helps you get better at jiu-jitsu, but it's not always the best for your body.
You don't rely on something like if your one arm is injured and you normally rely on it. Now I have to rely on my other arm, for example, and then you learn how to use more of your body.
Yeah, that's how I think I learned like any open guard stuff is because I had my adductor was pulled when I was a purple belt. And
that sucks.
before that, all I ever did was like close guard to scissor sweep or hip bump. And I don't really remember doing much open guard.
Yeah.
It's like spider or any of the stuff I do today.
So we got May coming up. We doing MMA May.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get Jackson to readying himself. So we'll start with that, and then also it'll be a good thing to kind of be what we're working on, and then when Jean-Jacques comes, that'll be like pretty hardcore jiu-jitsu.
Wait, say that again.
When Jean-Jacques there,
Yeah,
it's gonna be the bomb.
Please bring me a hat. He probably don't listen to the podcast, but that'd be awesome. I want one of them hats.
I'll send
man.
it. But
Oh, what's the?
they man, listen, he's gonna see it because everything that's posted on that dude, he pays attention to everything you do if you're one of his students. Like, I mean, it's martial arts when you're learning from someone like Jean-Jacques. It's like I think it's cool. Everyone else talks trash on having that kind of tradition in your school, or your academy, or your curriculum, and I'm like, you're dumb. You didn't watch enough kung fu movies growing up.
That's a perfect segue. What is going on right now? You know that one Bruce Lee movie? I think it was Chinese Connection, when they like poisoned his teacher at the beginning. He was at the grave.
Yeah.
He was like, "You killed my teacher." No, he was at the grave crying at the beginning, and then when he caught one of the guys towards the end, he was like, "You killed my teacher. Why? I understand that now.
Yeah.
I get it now.
You don't. I mean, like, there's in my like for me the levels of jiu-jitsu, right? Like, you're a white belt, you're a blue belt. And there's like, oh, you compete, and then there's like just different phases, right? And then you get to the higher belts, and then you have different phases, and your new journey pieces coming up, and learning new things, and seeing things you didn't before, and and then you get to be a black belt, and I think like, I don't know what it's like to have gotten a black belt from somebody that wasn't someone like Jean-Jacques, you know, like. I think if you get your black belt from somebody and they aren't like trying to mentor you or help you with things in your life, or trying to at least be an example to you, like you won't understand how important that is unless you actually have it. And it's a piece that I would have never gotten if I had just gotten my black belt from like Professor David at his school. David is that kind of black belt. He mentors you. He like helps you understand stuff and teaches you things, and like, it's not life coach stuff. It's just being your friend and calling you out on your own bullshit. You know what I mean? But it's like, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to get that kind of mentoring from someone like Jean-Jacques and Jay, you know,
it's like a layer.
Marcel and those guys, if I hadn't opened a school and stuck with a team that we were part of, you know, like, but like, I don't know. I think everything works out for the way that it's supposed to.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, like things work out the way they're supposed to based on your behavior. I think you literally do make your own happiness, and you make your own heaven. And I don't, like, we were talking about this, like, I think humans, we created God by, it's like Dutch door action, chicken and the egg and the chicken. When we became self-conscious, we created God and he created us. I don't know. Weird stuff. But anyways, off tangent, weird stuff that I think about when I'm sitting in the backyard looking at the woods.
When he can't turn his brain off.
This is why I do jiu-jitsu. But so anyways, what I was saying though is like, I don't know, like you wouldn't get that mentoring, and it's like things work out the way they're supposed to because of the way you behave and the choices you make. And when we chose to train with David, like that was life-changing. That was a big deal. Right? Because then we learned about Jean-Jacques and the way he looks at jiu-jitsu and life. It's good stuff.
Man, I'm just grateful that, you know, God put y'all in my life. I'm so serious.
That's cool.
That what I had said about what the movie, and I understand now, that was my way of saying I love you.
Mm.
And
I'll take it.
You know, obviously people just don't understand, man. You
yeah.
know? But thank you for bidding on that mat. I want to tell you, like, live on the podcast, thank you for bidding on that mat for me. Like, that was monumental to me. It's the little things, but that was big, man.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at like we will like text somebody if we haven't seen them in like 2 weeks or something, you know, and
yeah.
And it's like, people say like, thanks for checking in on me. And I'll be like, well, you hired me to do a job, so I'm fucking doing it, you know? And that's the way I look at it, you know, like, I don't know. I don't think people pay for jiu-jitsu. You know, they pay for a nice, safe place to train and someone to manage it. Yeah. And someone that's going to hold you accountable to be there. Because I don't have a gym for my goals. You know, like, well, actually, my goal, literally, when we opened the gym was, I just want a nice place for my family and I train. And so it's like the only flex you really have in your academy is the vibe you try to create and how clean you keep the place. You know, it's like the only two things you can actually control because everyone else teaches the same jiu-jitsu you are. Yep. You know, so it's like, I just want a nice place to train with my wife and my kids. And
with a bunch of other cool people that also want to train.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's like what we do. We just like, people come in and we're like, what's your goal? Oh, I want to lose weight. All right, that'll happen. Oh, I want to compete. Okay, well, let's make it happen.
Like everybody's in there looking to be a little bit better every day, and that's what you want to surround yourself with, you know, people that are all like trying to do a little better.
People's goals change too when they get, after they train for a little while, goals change sometimes.
If somebody's hesitant to do jiu-jitsu, like they're scared, I guess, from maybe hearing things, what would you tell them? Because I've said this before, like, and I kind of tapped in on this a little bit earlier, like, anytime I've gotten like injured or hurt, it's nothing that coach has you told me to do or demonstrated. It's something that I did.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's just like anything else.
And it was tough for me to learn like my parameters being 6'5". I think I'd be stepping too far in some things and I tweak or twist a certain way. Yeah. You know. But back to the question, I'm sorry.
We all have to do that, you know, modify like. Yeah. But I don't know. What did you ask?
What if somebody's So if somebody's hesitant to do jiu-jitsu because they're scared they're going to get hurt, or they think it's just a bunch of brutal people just beating on each other, like, because there's a lot of misconstrued information out there about it. You know, I'm sure.
Well, it is rough, dude. It is rough.
Yeah.
And you're going in there to practice something that everybody tries to avoid.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's a natural thing. People 10,000 years ago were trying to avoid fights with other human beings.
Is it going to hurt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to get hurt because that means we can't survive, you know? So it makes sense.
Just tell them to start slow at their own pace. Like, no one, like, I don't want to try to tell them, you're not going to jump in and do what everyone else is doing first day. Like, start slow, start at your own pace, listen to your body, like, build up, start where you're at, and you can always modify. You can start slow, you can do half a class, you can do there's always ways to, like, make the start a little easier until you feel comfortable, because anything new is scary. Even if you knew everything about it, something new is still scary. Yeah. So just starting slow, checking it out, like.
I think I think that you just kind of have to, like, we do this a lot, right? Where people be in warm-ups and they see people, like, forward rolling and doing stuff, and then you see that person look like, I ain't done that since I was like 10.
Because honestly, I think people are just as worried about doing the warm-ups as they are about the drilling and everything else. People come in and see, like, we don't move like that, like adults very often anymore, right? Like, people are tumbling down the mat, and I think that intimidates people before we're even doing the jiu-jitsu.
Front rows, back rows.
It's hard. Yeah. And it's funny because, like, you know, we got people who come in being super passionate, and then the warm-ups, like, make them quit. And it's because it's hard for them to move, but they don't realize that you can be consistent. And, like, the thing that, if you're consistent, your body will adjust. Yep. And you'll learn it again. Yeah. You have Ronnie, okay? Forward rolls. He's 65 years old. His forward rolls probably softer than mine. Like, it's so smooth. You know, and that old bagger's been blowing up like twice. And so I'm like, and I'm not kidding, he literally has.
Yeah.
Been blown up like twice. So I'm like, you know, man, you just.
Not when he first came in, right? He could barely move
walked
at all.
Like a penguin, yeah.
He had like no mobility, and this was just over the course of.
His first 2 months were him only doing warm-ups.
Yeah.
Technical stand-up. I was teaching him how to get up off the ground. You know what I mean? Like, and then.
Get your pride out of the way. Don't be worried that you have to sit off to the side and actually just practice warm-ups for a little while.
This is why I get so mad sometimes, because I'm like, Ronnie has ruined everybody's excuse. That guy couldn't move, and he was old war veteran, and he's like, swallowed his pride, and I didn't let him do nothing for a long time before he could move right, you know? And he made himself do it. And I'm like, everybody else, you shut the, it's like, don't even whine to me about anything.
Coach, I'm standing firm on the hemorrhoid thing.
Yeah, well, stop letting people check your oil and you'll be all right.
Come on. Dog. I told you.
You walked into that one, though.
But no, I told you what happened, right? When I went to the acting class?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And like the other thing with going on back to that, like getting people to start out, like, I tell people all the time, just be patient with yourself. You got to be patient with yourself.
Don't compare yourself to somebody else.
Don't compare yourself.
That's the big one.
That's huge.
That's a big one.
At every level, when you start and throughout your whole journey. Like
your whole journey, dude. Like, man, that's probably one of my most frustrating things, like, right now is people, the people at the gym. I get hit up by people. What's weird? So, like, I saw this other jiu-jitsu person on Instagram talking about how, like, you guys are being life coaches. And I'm like, well, when people reach out to me the way they do, and they ask for my advice, and it's on something I feel like I'm like, well, I haven't fucked that up in my life yet, so I must be doing okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I got some advice on that. If my life was a wreck, okay, maybe I shouldn't be telling anybody anything. I have my problems 100%, but at least, like, I'm trying. But several people will all at the same time hit me up about a certain personal issue all at the same time. It's always men, like, ladies don't talk to me, which I don't have my phone number because I ain't texting any of the ladies from the gym because no black belt should have any of their students' phone numbers, especially if they're girls, until they get them and then they text you all the time. But I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. But yes, no, none of us should have any of our female students' phone numbers.
I'm sorry, my brain went to what you had told me. Wait, no, you didn't tell me. Ken told me something, but we ain't gonna go there.
But anyways, like, so people will hit you up all at the same time, and right now, so many of our students have hit me up about something where they're comparing themselves to somebody else. And they don't say that, but what they tell me is a problem they have. I'm like, stop comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah. Stop
comparing yourself to what you did in the past. One of the things that really drives me nuts is people, we have a few people that came from other gyms, and I'm like, and they'll say something about the way things are done at that other gym. And I'll be like, I don't fucking care what it's like at that gym. And I don't care what they do to do a certain thing. If I did, I wouldn't have opened my own gym.
Right.
And I'm like, don't bring up your past and act like it's better than what we're doing here. Because if it was, you'd still be where you were. And that's on you. Because it's probably fine where you were.
Mm-hmm.
People don't quit gyms because gyms are these terrible, toxic places. They quit academies because something bothered them personally. And it was like, you couldn't get over it. And I'm like, and so many times, whether they came from another gym or not, so many people, like, just right now are hitting me up about comparing themselves to other people. And I'm like, dude, shut up. Because that's, like, the one thing you can literally get rid of as a problem right now.
Guaranteed to cause yourself a problem.
100%. And, like,
yourself.
You are literally the only one putting that problem on yourself. Hey, nobody's forcing that on you.
I never really compared myself to anybody, but it did get to a point where I felt like I was maybe disappointing you.
I don't think so. No.
And I was talking to Ken about
myself when you hold me down with one arm and I can't reach you anywhere because your arm's like 8 feet long.
But no, like, seriously though, I told Coach Ken that you'd probably be like, that's a dumbass way to think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
because for real, like, for one, if you're worried about me disliking you, which
not disliking me, disappointing.
No, disappointing you. Like, yeah. I'll tell you. Like, I'll tell you. Like, with our kids, I mean, I feel bad sometimes. They're like, I feel like you're upset with me. And I'm like, when have I ever not told anybody how I feel? Like, I am a big mouth. And
if you keep coming, keep trying, keep showing up, and doing what you say you're gonna do, you won't be disappointed.
It's literally like there's like these rules in jiu-jitsu that no one ever points out, but they are there. And one of them is that if you come and do what you're supposed to do in class and just kind of keep the vibe the gym has, there's no reason you shouldn't keep progressing in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And if you aren't, then someone's being an asshole to you. Okay? And that's usually, I think that happens. Maybe some people are more passive-aggressive than others, but for me, man, we're in the academy. I'm loud, dude. And I'm genuine. Somebody told me that I was genuine, and I've always just kind of called myself obnoxious and frank, but I'm going to go with genuine from now on because it sounds better.
I was just thinking, maybe I was disappointed, like getting to the point where maybe I was going to start disappointing myself, and I projected it. Maybe you were
there you go.
Going to be disappointed.
No, I don't know.
But I think maybe I was starting to be disappointed in myself. That was just me being in my head because, like, just like that day when I came to that half a class on Tuesday, I got my stripe right, but it didn't feel right because I left class early. You know what I'm saying?
You were walking off the mat. I was like, did he just hurt himself and he's discouraged or something? I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, man.
You had stuff to do. It's okay. It's life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Thank y'all.
If you were pussing out though and walking off the mat, I was gonna be like, or you're hurt. If you're hurt, just sit off the side. Don't leave yet. You know. Stay with your team because part of the thing about the gym is it's not just the training; it's the group of people. You know, like hang out.
Yeah, I wanted to go ahead and put my little 2 cents in on like people that's discouraged because I've gotten frustrated before for like what we were just not talking about. Like
everybody has
100% be locked in when you're doing the drills with the one individual before we pair off, right? And once we clap, like the Men in Black joint, I'm like, what the hell, man? And I'm like, how did I forget this? Like that sweep we've been doing. Like we did that in fundamentals. You did it in the next Tuesday class, and I'm sitting here trying to do it. Like, why is this not? But then, you know, of course, 2 or 3 times in, I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's a little. It can get frustrating. Like, what is wrong with me? What's wrong with my brain? I'm taking this lion's mane. I'm eating healthy. I guess I'm just.
Everybody does it.
I don't know.
Do you know what I try to do is I just tell people if you can't remember what you're supposed to do, try to remember what the teacher said your hands are supposed to do first. Where do your hands go first?
You can remember
collar, elbow.
Yeah,
so,
one thing, and then you're like, oh yeah, reminds you what else? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally you have to keep showing up.
Yeah.
Literally, that's how you're gonna get better. Like you told me that from day one.
The same thing for everything in life.
I think you have put out some good posts and stories. One of them I want to talk about the one about being a shepherd or wolf or a wolf shepherd or something. You don't remember that one?
Was it the boxing one?
Yeah. That one. And then the one about some people are getting ready to fight and they know their opponent may be stronger than them or they have more endurance. So they're like, I got to go to the gym and get strong or I got to run and swim to get... Well, how about you just focus on your technique? If you get better at your technique, you won't have to worry about the other stuff. Man, you be dropping some good stuff.
I just think that one's funny because there's so many people like, oh, you need to strength train to be better at jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, I think you should strength train. For me, I'm starting to feel like this is a change in my own thinking on this. Is I need to start strength training to stop being injured. Yeah. I don't think that will help make me better at jiu-jitsu. And because it's not jiu-jitsu. You want to get better at swinging a hammer, not missing the nail, you fucking swing the hammer more. Yeah. You know, and that's just, there's no getting around practice. Yeah. And anything you want to get good at in practice, you have to practice. It's just the way it is. There's no silver bullet. And particularly in jiu-jitsu, the thing that really bothers me is like, it's the only thing, like, nobody's online going, if you want to be a better hydrogeologist, take my course. It'll make you better at your job as a hydrogeologist. No, because in our minds, we know that you can't be a good hydrogeologist until you're years into it. Yeah. It's just how it is because you aren't going to experience it. There's no way to get experience in a course, life experience in a course. It doesn't happen. So, you know, like everybody's got these oh, take my instructional, fix your game. Oh, your guard's getting passed because you suck at blah, blah. My instructional will fix that. And you're like, there's no such thing as silver bullet.
You can know all the steps, but the nuance of timing and feeling and just what you're talking about, like the difference when you got to black belt, like how you felt about it, like that only comes with time. Just like you may know all the techniques, but to that next level is just that feeling and timing, and you can only get that by just being there a lot of times, over and over. Man,
like don't ever give up. Like if you go, don't ever quit because once it starts clicking, I can't really explain the feeling. When those light bulb moments come and you start like clicking and connecting the dots for real.
It's cool.
And like I told Ken, like I can see the horizon. It's off in the distance, but I can see it. I'm a baby crawling fresh out the womb.
You'll have that and then you'll have it again, even more like that still happens to me, you know, and I'm like, I've been doing it 12 years now. Yeah. So
years,
it's like, you have this new horizon that you're like, oh, like, so you still have that. I think that's one of the things that makes it so fun too, is that it stays challenging, like always. And there's always something to learn, and there's always that new horizon, and there's always like, it just keeps going. So it keeps it like engaging all the time.
I wonder if there could be a, not cure maybe, but like literally like treatment for kids that have ADHD that don't really focus very well. Cause they get bored with doing stuff. I'm never bored at jiu-jitsu, and it's so much fun.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, one of the things that I think is funny is, like you said, it still happens for you. Subs for me. Yeah. You know, and
I don't think it ever goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always be humbled in it.
I just think that it's kind of crazy to think that you're not a student forever. You know, I don't know everything.
It's something that you've seen 1,000 times, and for some reason, the next time you see this new angle or new piece that you never thought of before. And
that's why I like Tuesday. Tuesday's my day to try stuff I suck at. I get smashed a lot on Tuesdays, but I see a lot of new things on Tuesdays. The other Tuesday, man, I saw this Choi bar. It was this great position, and I nailed it on Miguel. And I realized as soon as I grabbed and pulled his arm that I grabbed his arm in the wrong location, and he's able to just turn his arm from this to that, and then he just wrapped his arm around my leg and passed my guard. I should have been Choi bar, and I'm really good, and because I was trying to do that position, I was trying to find a Kimura type position all the time, and I was like finding it a lot, and then I learned a new thing. I was like, oh, I can't grip this that way when I'm in this angle. Like, I literally have to find his palm, you know, and like it's because the way I broke his hand off was at the pinkies, and it wasn't where his palm was. So it's like, oh man, you know, like all the time, you know.
I don't know, man. This might be a crazy thing to say, but it's almost kind of comparison to like how the universe is steadily expanding. Like jiu-jitsu, you can always learn something. It's something like literally something you can learn regardless of like what level you're on.
You could train with Master Jean-Jacques, dude. It's like he doesn't even teach you crazy Jackie Chan looking stuff. He can do it. He teaches us some crazy stuff sometimes, but most of the time it's like, oh, you're having a problem with this. Move your elbow here like this, and you're like, oh, 10 years
simple
I've been messing
things
that
that
up.
are just,
you know, yeah.
JJ helped me a lot yesterday.
I think I was gonna actually change you too. I was gonna make you go train with like Alex, the new Alex, and I was gonna stick JJ because the other Alex with the Yao, they have more similar skeletons. And then I was like watching you guys, and I was like, it's important to learn how to do this without the right size skeleton.
Right.
So I left you there.
Yeah, because I love training with Joseph.
Yeah.
I love training with everybody, but specifically him because we have like similar skeleton systems.
Yeah.
And then I got to go against Chris. Chris humbled me the other day, man. It's amazing. I love getting humbled like that.
He'll fit in places on you.
He quick as hell.
Yeah, and he's compact.
I always said that. I trained with mostly men for a long time, and then the first time I had a lot of ladies to train with, I found them like fitting into these little spots and holes that I didn't even know I was leaving behind because I trained with like bigger people, and they were fitting in these little spots, and I was like, oh, I thought I was tight there, and they taught me that I definitely was not. Like, I wasn't as tight and controlling as I thought I was. So like, it's good. I'm
so glad you brought that up. Did you go on the women's seminar thing a couple weeks ago?
I didn't go with them.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Ken has said that.
Yeah, there was quite a few ladies that went over there. It sounded like they had a good time.
Like Vanessa saw somebody doing something. They was like looking like they was up to no good, and she just kind of like eyeballed him, and he went off and didn't do anything crazy. But like that's that confrontation, man. Without confrontation, right there. You know what I'm saying?
It was a dude at that thing.
Yeah, somewhere they saw. They was somewhere, and she saw him. Maybe they was out getting lunch. I don't know. I can't remember exactly where it was at, but yeah.
They did go to that women's seminar, but something happened at that seminar or something.
Maybe before or after.
I don't want to say the wrong thing.
That would have been a bad group of ladies to go and do something stupid with.
As far as like,
we had five women there, and I think that and all of them are mean as shit.
So they definitely went to the seminar, but the eyeball thing may or may not have happened at the seminar.
Okay, all good.
Yeah. Hey, can you explain?
If there was a problem, they would have told me.
Yeah.
Especially Vanessa.
Explain to me the whole coral belt system. Like you got like you have a black belt, right? Obviously, but like how do you? What's the coral thing? Like what's that? I could have Googled it. I just wanted to ask you.
31 years as a black belt, then you become a coral belt.
Wow.
7 stripes. Yeah.
Is there like a? Do you know the number of people that have coral belts? Like legit coral belts?
I don't know. I think in terms of red belts, like Egan Machado just got promoted to his red belt from Helson Gracie.
Congrats to him.
I think that there's like 9 of those people on the planet.
Wow.
Something like that. Maybe 10 now, because maybe he makes 10. I'm not sure. You can probably Google it, but...
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, like Gigi Paiva's a coral belt now.
Mm-hmm.
All those guys, dude. It's cool. Fabio Urgel. All of those dudes. It's wild.
Yeah.
Are you inviting other schools to the seminar?
Yeah, we will. We'll send that out this next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we just want to make it for our people first.
Did you set up the system for the merch? Are you still working on
it? Yes. I got delayed. When we went out of town, it deleted all of the information I had started with. And so
Really?
Yeah. I got to go back in.
WTF, dude.
Yeah. That's the technology, man.
Yeah.
Like dealing with ChatGPT and doing what I do. Just like mental health wise, I hate social media.
What I hate is that everything has to be connected to the internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything. And my job, I'm relying heavily on computers to do stuff. And because everything is tied into some cloud or some network, man, one thing bogs down and everything slows down. It's so stupid. And man, I'm like, I just save things onto my local, like I just save it to the C drive on my laptop and work. And because I'm like, man, as soon as like any of these things hiccup, the internet slows down or some service has some problem, dude, it makes everything else have problems.
I think social media makes me overthink. It's like something I wouldn't even have thought to think about that, and someone posts about it. You're like, oh yeah, what about that? And then it just too many thoughts swirling in your head that you wouldn't even have considered, anxiety. Or there maybe aren't even important. And then then you're just anxiety thinking about, oh, I should have considered that, or wait about this. And I needed a break recently. I was like too much overthinking, and I blocked myself on all my social media. And so if I want to get on there at all, I have to request time for myself. So I just like blocked them all out and took a little cleanse from social media because
dude,
thinking
it's
too
been
much.
amazing.
Yeah, it's been good.
I'm not going back.
It's been nice.
I don't care.
I don't want to.
I barely ever check it. It's like.
And there's a lot of good things you can do on there, but I was just finding myself like thinking about too many things that didn't need to think about, that just caused me stress.
Tell you how crazy I am. Like, so, Trojan Nation or whatever, Northwestern football, huge football town. Somebody had put like a post on there about like who's the best running back or the best linebacker in Northwestern or District 3 Stadium. And I was about to put somebody's name, but before I hit enter, I kept getting so much anxiety before I hit like the little send button. So I just didn't send it. Like the feeling that I got was insane.
Yeah.
I was like, obviously something's telling me not to do this.
Yeah.
It's just too much. But yeah, man. Coach, we got to make sure we get in the hunt this year, man.
Yeah, man. Did you buy a bow yet?
No. What I need to go buy one?
Well, let's shoot something with a deer with your gun first. But man, bow hunting, dude, that's the bomb.
Yeah.
That's the jiu-jitsu of hunting, I think. It's so much harder, but I'll tell you what, it's so much more satisfying. Yeah. And practicing, it's fun too, dude. You're not wasting rounds. You're just shooting arrows, dude.
Back to that meditative thing. I've actually shot a bow a few times, and it's very meditative. Yeah,
you're right.
I'd like to get one to practice too, just to start out with.
Yeah, I think I want to actually go take some archery, some like shooting lessons.
Yeah.
Because I think I shoot pretty well, but I think my technique could get better. And as much as like my neck sucks, like I want to pull a really hard bow, so I pull like a 70-pound bow right now. But I want to be able to pull like a 90-pound bow, dude.
Wow.
Because then I can shoot anything. Like I want to bow hunt a buffalo. I want to kill a moose one day. So it's like 50 things you kill whitetail out here, like the 50, 55, and 60. It's like all day. You could probably kill an elk with that too, but you might not an elk or a whitetail, or not a whitetail, but like a mule deer out west. But a 70-pound bow kill mule deer and elk and probably moose, but I want to make sure it will. So I want to shoot like a 90-pound bow. But I think I need better technique. But you know, it's, I don't know. It is meditative though, like you said, when you're shooting that sucker and you're like, you know, you pull it and your eye lines up with the hole and you're like just holding. Yeah, it's good.
Shout out to jiu-jitsu. Remember I was telling you I was setting my scope on my rifle, and I was saying like the jiu-jitsu helped with my breathing, and it absolutely did. And one other thing about the meditative thing and how we lost touch with like our roots, like our primal selves, we probably could back in the day blank our minds out until maybe up until the point that when they started putting all the stuff in the food.
Think about all the things that they're put in front of us to think about now. It's just like an overload of information, and not even bad necessarily. It's just so much. Like you think about primally, what did you have to think about? The circle was fairly small, and so many concepts are introduced to us all the time. Like it's like overload.
That social media overloads us.
Like life in general, and then social media on top.
And
of
even
that.
if it's good news, we're not supposed to get so much good news.
Right. It just the amount.
In one day.
The amount is
like, it's
so
crazy.
much.
It's not realistic.
Life wasn't really full of good news.
Never.
Go ask a fucking squirrel. Hey, what happened to you today was good. You know what I mean? Like squirrels look like they're having fun all the time.
We decided the squirrels in our woods live pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. But even them, they're finding food.
They're worried about
getting
dying.
a place to sleep and hoping to not get grabbed by a hawk or something. You know, it's like, you know, that's natural life on Earth. Good things don't come often. So, because half of it involves you dying. So it's like too much stuff, you know. Like that's my problem when I look at social media. I just feel like it's like bogs it all down.
And I think I'm sincere when I say this. It's very sad that it's going to take like an extinction level event for things to get course corrected.
Won't go back. You know, I work in mining, and one of the things that I think about a lot, you know, because you hear about the new advancements and new ideas, and how can we get mineral extraction, and we got all this stuff about, we need to energy transition, and we need to have critical minerals, and blah, blah, blah. It's a big deal right now in mining, and there's a lot of work right now because of it. But they talk about, like, mining the seafloor. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why do we need to mine the seafloor? We have land everywhere, and we have countries where there's those resources, you know. But we want to go mine the seafloor. And I'm like, okay, at what point does humanity look at itself and go, you know, we've gone far enough. We're pretty good. Let's just stop there. And, you know, whatever technologies we have, let's just keep it at this level.
You say this all the time. Progress for the sake of what? Like, what is it improving? Has our life actually gotten any better? Or are we all kind of miserable trying to how much progress is too much? Where do we stop that? Like, are we actually like improving our lives?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of things, like he says in Jurassic Park, you know, like you didn't stop to ask whether or not you should.
You're like,
you know,
I think that is part of it. We're just like, can we do that? We're driven by this, like, can we figure it out? Can we do it? But not stopping to think,
maybe we shouldn't
should we do that?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's the dumb part about that. But the one about mining C4 really makes me mad, because I'm like, I'm in mining, and I think mining is super necessary, you know. But the ocean, guys, literally is why you're alive on the planet. If you could link all life on Earth back to one thing, it's the sea. Like life today. Why is life allowed to live today, right now? Because we have oxygen to breathe. And that all comes from the ocean. Like, not one breath you breathe comes from the trees around your house. Those trees breathe that air. You know, but it's like that's our life support system. We're on the spaceship. That's our life support system. Yeah. And you go fucking up the seafloor, man, and messing it up already more than we have already. This is like the only like environmentalist thing I have. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like we put too much plastic in it. It's already bad. Yeah. Don't mess with the sea. You know, like you mess with the sea, you run real risk of killing us all. And not just us. Every life form on the planet. Yeah. So.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking,
something people don't know, though.
Yeah.
And this is my point. people just aren't educated enough. We would fight for a hell of a lot more stuff, and we would be telling our representatives and people in our government way more often how we actually felt things should go if we knew more.
And if you want
Which
so
is
distracted,
why I say read your freaking Constitution.
I get on that.
I'm emailing senators at least once a month about different things, like all the time, because I'm like, somebody will email me about something I'm interested in. Tell your representative, and I'll be like, yeah. And there's some things I get where I'm like, I'm not telling them about that. That's stupid. You guys are weird, you know. Yeah. But I do. It's like you should be doing that. Why? Because that's your right, and you should exercise it.
Yeah. Do you know anything about ibogaine? It's a plant. It's a tree / plant, but it's over in like Africa, and very high success rate with people that deal with like post-traumatic stress disorder and substance abuse issues, especially with like opioids and stuff like that. They got it going on in Texas. Like they got some funding from the state. And you mentioned something about reaching out to senators, and that's definitely on my to-do list.
What's it called?
After I read the Constitution. But hey, for me, I gotta say this.
Pages. Just read it.
For what it's worth, I definitely glanced through it in college. You said after high school.
Okay, well you saved yourself.
No, I've skimmed through it and read some stuff before, like stuff about gun rights and certain topics of discussion that would come out in the news or whatever. Which I don't even really watch the news, but you hear things on social media. So I brushed up on it, but I'm gonna read it, man.
Yeah,
that's one thing I've learned. That's one thing I've learned is like when I get good advice, I actually like act on it. That's one difference than when the way I was before when you first saw me. I'm so glad like I didn't. So the timing of all this is insane, but yeah.
Your reprehensible negligence. It's like you should be reading your freaking Constitution.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you as well for everything that you do.
She does more. Way more.
Yeah. I wish we had a lot more people like y'all out here. No, I'm serious, man. Like people that know me know I ain't bullshitting, so that's all that matters. You know I ain't bullshitting.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just very important to me, man. Like what y'all got going on up there, man. It really is.
It's fun.
We're having fun.
Good group of people.
Yeah, it's cool.
Absolutely.
It's super fun.
So, thank y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate all you guys.
Sorry.
No, good.
Talk about timing. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Just saying, we appreciate all you guys too. It's like couldn't do it without you guys, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we right at 2 hours. So thank y'all for listening. This has been another episode of The Tap in the Hub. And it's easy to tap in, but you gotta remember to tap out.